So this particular tutorial has been divided into 5 cases. Alright, line perpendicular to VP, then line perpendicular to HP, we have line parallel to HP and VP, then we have line inclined to HP and parallel to VP, and finally we have line inclined to VP and parallel to HP. So these are the 5 cases that I'll be taking up. So without further ado, let's get started.
So guys, this is going to be case number 1. You can clearly see that the line is perpendicular to HP and parallel to VP. So this is the line, and if I can show you this right angle over here, this is what you call the 90-degree angle that the line is making with the horizontal plane. Now the name of this line over here is AB. Alright, AB, and we are going to look at this line from 2 different ways. One, we're going to look at this line from the front, and by doing so we'll have the front view, and at the same time we're going to look at this line right from the top, and from that we're going to have ourselves the top view. Alright, so let's look at this line right from the front, and it's going to intersect this vertical plane somewhere here. So that's the front view of point B. This is going to be B dash, and this is going to be A dash. Alright, so let's write them down. This is B dash and that's A dash, and this over here, guys, this is the front view of the line AB. Alright, now similarly let's look at this line right from the top. Now when you look at this line from the top, you're gonna end up having its top view in the form of just a point. Alright, that's it. And now let's join this front view with this so-called top view, which is in fact a point, and top view corresponds to 2 different points. In fact, one is A dash and the other one is B dash. Alright, so when you look at this line from the top, you're going to have this A, and below it and below A is going to be B, so that's why A dash and B dash. And now let's convert this, this is what you call a pictorial representation. Alright, and we are going to convert this pictorial representation into an orthographic view, and I'm going to show you over here. So basically we have over here, this is what you call the XY line, reference line, or the line where this vertical plane meets this horizontal plane. So I'm going to draw this line. Alright, and what I'll be doing is I'm going to rotate this horizontal plane by an angle of 90 degrees in the clockwise sense, and on doing so I'll have an XY line this way, above which I'll have this vertical plane, and below which I'll have this horizontal plane. Fine. Now for starting, I need to know this height, okay, this bottom point height. So this is going to be HB. Alright, and at the same time I need to know one more data, that is the distance of the line away from the vertical plane. Alright, so this is the distance of the line away from the vertical plane. This is D. You can say that this is DB, or you can also say this is DA. Both of them are same. Alright, so we're going to begin by drawing the front view first, and in front view you'll see this. So this is what you're going to see in the front view, and these 2 points are A dash and B dash, and for drawing this front view you only need to know this data, that is what you call HB. Alright, so this is the front view, and then we need to have the top view. Now let us draw this line, and then this is 90 degrees angle, you know that pretty well. And when you rotate this horizontal plane by an angle of 90 degrees in the clockwise sense, this line will come straight below this. Okay, so we need to go below by a distance of DA or DB, and this point over here represents the top view of this case, that is A comma B, and this in fact is what you call DA or DB. Both of them are same, and this is finally this is what you call the front view, and this point over here represents the top view of case number 1, where the line is perpendicular to HP and parallel to VP. Alright guys, so this was all about case number 1, and you can clearly see that these angles, all of them these are all angles, right angles, since it's an orthographic projection, that's why. Alright, these are all 90-degree angles. Okay, fine. So let's move ahead with case number 2, and in this case we have a line which is perpendicular to the vertical plane and parallel to the horizontal plane. Now let us say that the name of this line is given by A, and this end over here represents point B. Now we are going to look at this line from two different ways. One is to look at this line right from the front, alright, and at the same time we are going to look at this line right from the top. Okay, so when you look at this line right from the top, you will have this. Okay, so this is going to be the intersection point with the vertical plane, with the horizontal plane, and this over here, guys, when you join these 2 points, this is what you call the top view of the line AB, and these endpoints will be A and this is going to be B. Alright, now similarly we are going to look at this line from the front, and when you do so, you'll have this as your front view. Please watch this carefully. This is where you're going to have its front view, and first of all, when you look at this line from the front, you'll observe this point that is going to be B dash, and behind B dash, overlapping in the form of a point, is point A, that is going to be A dash. Alright, the next thing to do is to join these so-called front view and top views with the help of a line, and we are doing so with this. Alright, so as I've already told you that this line over here makes a 90-degree angle with the vertical plane. You can clearly see this. This is what you call the 90-degree angle, right angles with the vertical plane. Alright, even here the projector always makes a certain angle, that is 90-degree angle. Alright, and again we need to do the same thing. We need to rotate this 90-degree clockwise, and on doing so we'll have this XY line in the orthographic view. Please let me show this to you. This is the so-called XY line. This is going to be the top view. So we are to begin with top view because the true length of this line can be seen from the top. So this is going to be a top view, and for drawing this top view I have this point A and I have this B. I know the true length of the line, but how far this endpoint A is from the vertical plane, that is something that we need to know. So this is going to be DA. Alright, at the same time, you see this line over here, this line, I'm going to go upstairs until it intersects this XY line somewhere here, this XY line over here. I'm going to go, and then I'm going to go above. Okay, so this height has to be known. So the line is in fact parallel to HP, but at what height it lies. So this is HA. You can also call it as HB because these endpoints are at the same height above the horizontal plane. So you need to go above, say by a distance of, you can either say it as HA or HB, and this, guys, is what you call A dash comma B dash. So that's the front view of a line which is parallel to VP. So this is the front view for a line which is perpendicular to VP and parallel to HP, and this over here is the top view. Okay guys, so this was case number 2, and now we'll deal with case number 3, where I'll be showing you a line which is parallel to both HP as well as VP. Alright, so guys, this is case number 3, and in this case we have this line parallel to both horizontal plane as well as vertical plane. So let us say that this is our line and the endpoints are named as A and B, and now we need to look at this line from 2 different ways. Alright, so first of all we are going to look at this line right from the front this way. So this is going to be for our front view, and then we will have this for top view. Alright, so now let's look at this line right from the front. I'm going to extend this until it intersects this vertical plane at a certain point. This is the intersection point, and you'll clearly see that these points are what we call, this is the front view of point A, this is going to be A dash, and this is the front view of point B, and this is going to be B dash, the front view A dash B dash of this line AB. Now similarly we are going to have the top view also, and for that I'm going to bring this point downwards until it intersects the horizontal plane at a certain point. So this is that point, and then again projected downwards. So this is the intersection point, and when you join A and B, so this is what you call the top view of the line, and this is A and this is B, right? Now the next thing that can be done is to join this A dash with A and then B dash with B. this way, this way. That's it, guys. Okay, now what we'll be doing is we're gonna rotate this, you know this pretty well, by an angle of 90 degree in the clockwise sense in order to create its corresponding orthographic view. Okay, and let's do this quickly. So we have this reference line, XY line, X and Y, okay, above which I'll have this X and Y. This is the vertical plane above and this is the horizontal plane below. The only distances that you need to know in this case is this over here. So this is what you call H, and for A also, and H for B also, both of them will be same. The one more distance that you've got to be aware about is this one. Alright, this distance. So this can be written as DA, this can also be written as DB, whatever you like, since it is parallel to both HP and VP. So H for both these points are going to be same, and since it is parallel to VP also, so D for both these points, A as well as B, so this distance from the vertical plane will be same, DA and DB. Okay, next thing to be done, you can either start with the front view because the true length can be seen in front as well as top also. Alright, so you can start either with front view, you can also start with top view. So we have to, so I'm starting this with the front view. Alright, and here I have this A dash and B dash, and this distance is what you call H. You can also say this is HA, or you can also write this down as HB. Now let us bring these points downwards, this way, let us go further down in this direction. This is 90 degree angle. All right, 90 degree angle. Now downward direction. That's it, guys. And now finally we have this top view. All right, so this is the top view, and this over here represents point A and this is point B. So here we have it, front view of a line parallel to HP as well as parallel to VP. So the conclusion that we can draw is, when a line is parallel to HP or VP, both its front view as well as top view are going to be parallel to XY line. All right. Now the next thing that we'll be dealing with is what you call, for a line inclined to HP and parallel to VP. Okay, so this over here represents a line which is, you can clearly see that the line is inclined to the horizontal plane, let us say by an angle theta. So we'll write a convention. Theta is the angle made by line with the horizontal plane. So I'll write in short HP. All right, so we have this line over here, and this line, the endpoints of this line are represented by A and B. Now similarly the approach is going to be similar, and we're going to look at this line from the front. So we have this for front view, okay, and we have this for top view. You can clearly work out that the true length of the line can only be seen from the front, and hence we are going to create the front view first. So I'm going to extend this projector until it intersects this vertical plane somewhere here, and this projector also. Okay, so the 2 points that we've got right now are A dash, and this is what we call B dash, and when you join A dash with B dash, you'll have a view that is a front view, to be very specific. All right, so we have a front view in front of ourselves, and this angle theta can be seen from the front. Okay, this angle, so this is what you call theta. Fine. Now similarly we are going to look at this line right from the top, and on looking at it we'll get the top view. All right, so on extending this line in the downward direction, it will intersect this horizontal plane somewhere here. Let us work this out. So this is going to intersect over here. So the intersection points are A and B, and when you join this A with B, you'll have a view that is what you call a top view. All right, next thing to do is to join A dash with A. All right, so this is what you call the connecting front views with top views. That's exactly what I'm doing right now, joining B dash with B. All right, this is what you call the front view, and this over here is what you call the top view. Okay, next thing to do is to convert this pictorial representation into an orthographic view. For this we have this XY line, the intersection point of vertical plane with horizontal plane. So I'll draw this XY line, above which I'll have the vertical plane and below which I'll have this horizontal plane. And you know that very well, that you need to rotate this horizontal plane by an angle of 90 degree clockwise, so that it can be drawn, this whole thing, this three-dimensional thing can be drawn on a plain sheet of paper. Okay, so we're going to look at this object right from the front initially, because the true length can only be seen from the front. Okay, so I need this data. So initially I need this. So this is what we call the height of this endpoint A above the horizontal plane. So this is HA. So I'll go above by an amount of HA, and this point is A dash. This over here is HA. Alright, now the next thing to do is to locate this angle. Now this line is making a certain angle with the horizontal plane, and this angle is theta. Alright, so I'm going to take an angle theta, and I'm going to draw this true length. So this true length is, the distance could be anything. We'll be working out some problem based on this in the future classes, and this point over here is what you call B dash. Alright, next thing to do is to draw this line over here, which you can clearly see this, and this line to go in the downward direction. Okay, so this angle is 90 degrees, so this is 90 degrees. Alright, then come down below over here. So this is what you call distance of this point from the vertical plane. So this is what you call DA. You can also call this as DB. Alright, both the distances are same since the line is parallel to vertical plane. So let's have this distance over here. Alright, and so we've reached here. So this is going to be the top view. Let's draw this top view. That's it, guys. And now I'm going to bring this point downwards here. Okay, so finally we have ourselves A and B, and that's what you call the top view. And this distance is obviously going to be same for both the endpoints A as well as B. So you can either write it as DA or even DB. So this is what you call the front view of the line, and this is what you call the top view. Now guys, remember, I'm going to draw a certain conclusion from this case that says that whenever a line is inclined to VP and whenever a line is inclined to HP and parallel to VP, you have to start by drawing the front view first. We are going to see this inclination theta. Okay, the top view in fact is going to be absolutely parallel to XY line, since it is parallel to the VP. Alright, so that was case number 4, and now let's move towards case 5, the final case that says the line is inclined to VP and parallel to HP. So guys, this is going to be the final case, and you can clearly see that the line is making a certain angle with the vertical plane, and this is represented by the angle phi. Alright, so phi is what you call the angle made with vertical plane. Alright, now we are going to look at this line from two different ways. First, we are going to look at this line right from the front for having the front view, and then we are going to look at this line right from the top for having the corresponding top view. Now when you look at this line from the front, this endpoint, this is what you call endpoint A, and this is what you call endpoint B. You'll have this endpoint somewhere here along this. Alright, and when you look at this line right from the front, you will have this intersect the vertical plane somewhere here. So this is what you call the front view of the endpoint A, and this is what you call the front view of endpoint B. There's this B dash, and when you join both these, you'll have this front view. Okay, so this over here represents the front view. Now similarly, we are going to look at this line from the top, and when I produce this line in the downward direction, it is going to intersect this horizontal plane somewhere here, and this is what you call the top view of endpoint A, and this is the top view of endpoint B, that's B. And when you join A with B, you'll have the top view. All right, top view. All right, now the next thing to do is to connect the front view with the top view. So we have this, and then we're going to join this B dash with this B over here, right? And you can also see that this angle that the line makes with vertical plane can be seen from the top. Okay, so this was the pictorial representation. Now we are going to draw its corresponding orthographic view, and for that please watch this. So this is your XY line. So I'm going to draw this XY line. Now one thing that you need to figure out as to from which view you can see the true length of this line. It is clearly visible that the true length of this line can only be seen from the top. So we have to begin by drawing the top view first, and then accordingly its front view is going to be made. All right, now certain dimensions that we need to know is, first is this one, this dimension, okay, endpoint, so DA, and this endpoint, so this is going to be HA. So H above and D below, right? H above and D below. So this is HA and this is DA. With H you need to put a dash, so this is going to be A dash. With D you don't need to put a dash, and then we have this angle over here. All right, so I'm going to draw this true length at a certain angle. So that angle in fact is phi. So this is your, what do you call, this is the top view. All right, this is B dash, sorry, this is B, and then we are going to look at this from the front. We already know, since the line is parallel to this vertical plane, you can clearly see that the line is parallel to this horizontal plane. All right, so its front view is going to be a straight line. This is parallel to XY. I'm going to draw this. That's it. Now we're going to look at this from the front, and we're going to have ourselves this way, this way, this way, and it intersects over here, and this guys represents B dash, so that's the front view. All right, and this represents the top view, and you can clearly see that this angle is phi. All right, so this was all about case number 5.